What's up? It's me, Nazario. On this channel, I explore music business, tech, and creation. And this is like my 500th take of the intro. Today's video, I'm going to be interviewing first-time Grammy-winning producer, Audio Anthem. I had the opportunity to speak with him a few weeks ago about his experience in the music industry and how he was able to find success by creating a company by the name of The Crate League, where he sells loops, and how that led to him getting placements with people like Big Sean, Nas, and Lecrae. Before we go any further, I just want to let you know that members of my Patreon got this interview last week. And this week, they're going to be getting access to an extra 15 to 20 minutes of the interview that didn't make it into this video. So if that's something that you would like to get access to, then make sure you head on over to my Patreon and sign up. Day ones, which are $5 Patreon members, get access to the audio version of this interview in addition to the extra 15 to 20 minutes in audio format. And $10 Patreon members, which are called real ones, get access to the video versions of this interview and the extra 15 to 20 minutes. So if that's something that you're interested in, then make sure you definitely click on the link in the description below and sign up for my Patreon today. Also, Audio Anthem was gracious enough to provide a discount code for people watching this video to get 20% off on the Crate League. So if you're a music producer and you want to get loops from a Grammy winning producer, then make sure you head on over to the Crate League and you can get 20% off by using discount code Nazario. That's Nazario across the screen right there, Nizzereo, my name, and you get 20% off. But anyways, I'm not gonna take any more time. Let's go ahead and get into the interview right now.
What up, Niz?
What's up? It's me, Nazario. On this channel, I discuss music business, tech, and creation. And right now, we're going to be doing something actually a little bit different from normal. I'm going to start doing some interviews with different people in the music industry and kind of getting their stories and how they found success in their path. So right now, I have with me Audio Anthem. He's a 3-time Grammy nominee, and I just wanted to share his story with you guys. So welcome to my YouTube channel. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you guys doing? Or you doing, rather?
Yeah, I'm doing good. What I wanted to do was actually, before we get started, I just wanted you to give like a quick rundown of your story, where you're from, how you started doing music and things like that.
Okay, cool. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I started doing music in church at an early age. Like my parents always like gave me like music instruments as a kid, so I started out playing drums in church when I was like middle school, like going to middle school, and from there just kind of like linked up with other people that were doing music in church and just got into production and stuff like that. Time flew, I moved. Well, graduated, went to college, Alabama A&M. Continued to make beats and do stuff around the city. And I had a manager who had an artist, and he was like, "Yeah, we need to move to Atlanta or whatever." So that's where it kind of started. My professional career in music started when I moved to like Atlanta, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago. So, yeah. Last few years, I started this company called Crate League, where I make compositions and samples for other producers to use in their beats and stuff like that. So that's kind of pretty much like got me like at the level that right moment through the Crate League and production stuff. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much it, man. I've been doing this since like little school, to now. So it's been years and years and years.
Yeah. So something interesting that I find interesting about your story is that, like I said, you have 3 Grammy nominations. I believe this is your first year being nominated for the Grammys, and you have a nomination with Big Sean for the song Deep Reverence. For Nas, you did production on Ultra Black by Nas, so you got nominated. That album got nominated for a Grammy, and then also on the Craze album, you got a nomination as well.
Yep.
So something that I find interesting with that is that was all basically a result of you creating loops and being able to send those out to different producers. So what actually motivated you to get into that game?
I had a homeboy, and shout out my boy Mario Luciano. He's another dope sample maker. And he was randomly. I just randomly posted something on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Instagram. Maybe like 3 years ago. It was just random. He randomly found my page. Like, man, you need to start making loops and samples and stuff. Because I wasn't even thinking like going that route or whatever. Because I mean, I bought from like Frank Dukes and other guys like that, but I never really thought about me making them as an end to get into the music business. Like the top of the music business. But yeah, like I made like a pack or whatever, and he's like, yo, these are crazy. And he wanted to link me with some other dudes to distribute the pack or whatever. That didn't quite work out, but I understood like leverage in the music business and leverage in business. And I already had like some placements as a producer. So I was like, let me reach out to, the drum broker and some of these other distributors to see if I can, get my sample packs on there. And luckily it was good enough for them to take it and like, hey, yeah, we can put it out or whatever. And ever since then, I've been doing it ever since then. It's almost 3 years now. So that's how it got started.
That's crazy. So you mentioned that you didn't actually plan on doing that. So when you first started like trying to do music as a career, what would you say you defined success as?
Looking back at it now that I'm older, have some success, it's kind of hard to say. I think success is being able to wake up and do what you really want to do for a living, or just being able to do it, and not to worry about other stuff. To me, that's where I being successful is right now. In my life is just being taking to my family and wake up and do music, or wake up and not do music. You know what I'm saying? But just being in a position to have the ability to do it. All the other stuff is cool, like the Grammy nominations and the plaques and stuff like that, and the recognition is cool. But now that I'm older, I'm more appreciative of just being with the ability to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can tell you, like for me personally, I guarantee when I started doing music, my main thing was kind of that. But then as I got further into it, it kind of snowballed into this whole thing of like, I want all these kind of accolades and all these crazy, I want Grammys. I still want Grammys technically, honestly. Yeah, that is one of my life goals, to be able to at least win one Grammy. But it kind of just snowballed into all these things just from seeing success through other people's eyes. And I know that for me, it's changed over the years. So I was just curious about how you would define success has changed for you over the years.
I think those things are cool, but at the same time, a lot of people don't know what's behind and stuff like that. They may not know the business, of it. Like some of them may have like a small percentage on a song or something like that. Even though you're on it and you're nominated, you may not be getting like reaping the full benefits of it. But I would say stuff like that does help your like price go up when it comes to negotiating different stuff, terms and splits and getting paid for songs and tracks and stuff like that. Like all this stuff helps because you can say, hey, I'm nominated for 3 Grammys, so there's no way you can lowball me or this, then the third. It helps that route, but you know what I'm saying? It's, there's a lot of people nominated for Grammys and stuff that like struggling. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I've heard stories like that before too. Like, so I think for me, just being able to do the Crate League and make a living from it, a great living from it, not have to be in worry about everything else, creative wise in the music business, has been a blessing for real.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel. Like, I'm still in the process of building it right now, but I want to get it to a point where where I can kind of try to go the route of doing placements and things like that, but not necessarily have to worry about, am I going to make money? Like, is this going to be able to make me enough money to pay my bills this month or anything like that? Or are they going to pay me on time or anything like that?
The one thing, I guess it just comes from just experience and being older, is people don't understand that the music business is so big. There's so much stuff that you can do in it. Like, you can do TV for film, sing licensing. You do a lot of different type of stuff in the music business and make from it. I think a lot of people like, yeah, I want to be like, I think they want to be more so famous and like sought after other just making money and doing it for a living, you know? Because I ask artists that all the time. I was like, do you want to be famous, or do you want to actually do music for a living? Because it's two different things, you know what I'm saying? Because not everyone can be famous, but you know, a lot of people can make a great living from music.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I had to learn. Like, I'm kind of coming into this without, like, I had to reverse engineer everything as I went on. So like, I'm still, like, I've learned about the ways to make money, and then it's just like trying to fill in the gaps of like, okay, well, how do I get from this to like get in the door with the opportunities to do sync licensing, or to get into the doors to be able to like actually, like, for example, sell loops and things like that. So like I'm in the process of trying to reverse engineer that and trying to take little steps towards doing things that are going to hopefully be able to put me in a position where I can make this a full-time career choice.
It's very possible.
Yeah. And I mean, my whole thought process has always been like, I've always thought about the fact that like there are people making a living on music, even though there's a lot of like faking it within the music industry. Yeah. There are people that are making a living on it, because it wouldn't be possible for it to function and for people to still get into this and things like that if there weren't people making money. So I've never seen it as an impossible goal. I just think that it's not a clear path to success. Yeah.
I mean, that's with anything though, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think the music business is more glamorized, but it's a lot of people like behind the scenes that you would know from a can of paint that's like make a lot of money from music and producing and, you know, doing stuff for film and TV. It's like, you know, it's a lot of money out there in it. You just gotta kind of navigate it to basically just focus on, okay, I'm gonna focus on this. Once the Crate League started talking, because I've been in the music business for a while, so I understand a lot of the BS in it and the industry, different industry stuff within it or whatever. So when I start focusing on that, like the politics and all this other stuff, and just focusing on the Crate League, you know what I'm saying? That's what really propelled me for real, because I didn't care about the industry stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, yeah, well, if you don't do this, you know, we can't build a relationship. I'm like, what they're going to understand is like, okay, I don't really need your money. I already make money with the Crate League, so you can't, like, you know, like, not give me what's fair for my work, you know?
Yeah. So the next thing that I actually want to talk about actually ties into the Crate League a little bit. So how did you get your placements on for Deep Reference and for Ultra Black? Because I know that those were with Hit Boy. So
yeah, shout out Hit Boy. Man, to be honest with you, I have no idea how Hit Boy got my packs. He probably, I mean, believe it or not, a lot of these dudes buy stuff just like everybody else. Even though you can send it to them, they still go buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still producers at the end of the day. So I'm thinking either he got my stuff from another producer he works with, probably G-Rye, or he just went and bought it, you know. But one of my two homies, they make sample packages as well. They was out in LA, and they was like, yo, they was actually working with Hit Boy. He's like, yo, man, he got some stuff with your packs or whatever. I was like, cool. So Hit Boy called me the next day and was like, yo, I got some crazy joints or whatever. So ever since then, we were talking and going back and forth and stuff. But I think he already had made those records, because those beats, I'm pretty sure almost like 2 years old. You know, when I first heard, was it Deep Reverence? When I first heard Deep Reverence, it was like almost a year and a half before it came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I heard some of it. So, man, to be honest with you, I have no idea. Like, it would have to be either through the drum broker or somebody's, because a lot of producers don't have time to just go searching for stuff, so they have people that go either bring packs to the studio or just have a hard drive full of stuff and come to the studio. Because that's how a lot of these guys be getting on songs. Like, they don't really be producing. They might come through with like the loops or something like that, and then they want a piece of the song, you know. But it's almost a normal practice in the music business, I believe it or not. But I have no idea, but all I know is my man was out there and he wanted to get on the phone with me, and ever since then we were, you know, chopping it up and working and stuff.
I think I've heard before people talk about the fact that that like there's always just like your name is being mentioned in a room that you don't even know about, like somewhere in the world. And I feel like that's kind of like an example of that situation. You had no clue that Hit Boy was using your loops or anything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you find out that he used them not only on just a song on Big Sean's album, but a song with Nipsey Hussle, and not just any song on Nas' album, the song that was like the first single off of Nas' album. So I think that's like a really big example of that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because like that with a lot of placements I get stuff like that. Like, or don't know that I'm the crazy. They be like either in passing or some name was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, they're crazy. What? I've been for a while. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so it's kind of crazy. Like they know of the crazy, but they don't know who know him.
Do you like it that way? Do you like it being that the Crate League is the face of the business versus Audio Anthem, or do you want to kind of switch around?
I've been trying to balance it out because I'm a producer too, and I'm probably better at producing than making sound.
Yeah,
for real. But I don't think a lot of people know that. Until they making beats on something like that. I'm like, damn, okay, that's dope. I didn't know he made beats or whatever like that. But it's cool because at the end of the day, I mean, I know what my goals are, and I'm trying to do, and I'm really just focused on just being able to take care of my family and do whatever I want to do, so I can be in the back, man. Because most people that's in the move and silence, nobody really knows who they are. And they're the people making the most money, and running everything. So
yeah,
okay with that.
100%. So if you could give any advice to an up and coming producer, or even someone that's interested in maybe starting out with creating loops, what would you tell them?
I would tell them probably the most important thing outside the music is their brand, how it's presented, how it looks, because even me with the Crate League, I tell people all the time, like, my stuff is dope, but it ain't like the best. Like, I know other dudes I'm cool with, they're way more dope than me and talented than me, but I have a strong brand, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing apart, understanding branding and stuff like that, and just aesthetic and how it looks and how it's presented and rolled out. So that's part of my success, just having a strong brand. So I tell up and coming producers, man, look at some of your favorite brands and pretty much what they do there in your own way and see what you can take from it and just actually do it. A lot of people, they don't actually do it. Like, they say they want to do it, or they're like, yeah, I'm gotta plan it out instead of actually trying to do it. I tell people, man, just do it. Make sure the brand looks good and dope. Because people, I tell you like this, people will say, for instance, your record, you dig for records or whatever. You'll pick up a record that looks dope. You know what I'm saying? Before you even hear it, you just looking like, man, it's gonna be dope or whatever. It's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So if you have a strong brand, strong presence and stuff like that, people will give it a chance, you know what I'm saying? But if it doesn't look up the par, then it may be dope. They be like, I don't know, it looks whack, So that's music business in the whole, pretty much. Everything is about perception and how it looks and how it's rolled out.
Thanks for your time. And can you just let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find the Crate League and everything like that?
Yeah, Crate League website, www.thecrateleague.com. Audio Anthem on IG, the Crate League on IG. That's pretty much it.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for your time, and hopefully by the time this video actually comes out, you will be a Grammy winner and not just a Grammy nominee. So thanks for being willing to do this interview.
Man, for sure, man. Anytime, man.